Hello, welcome to the Gopal'sAstrology channel. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic about the importance of time of birth in the Vedic astrology chart. What is the most accurate way to determine the time of birth, which we can input into our softwares, and we can do a predictive astrology. In those ancient times where we did not have precise softwares to calculate and make the kundli or the birth chart, they used to make a manual judgment and they used to have some round off errors and things like that. But nowadays we have a very accurate softwares that are available in the market, and we can even pinpoint to the degrees and minutes of the ascendant or lagnam very precisely. That's the reason why I'm making this video, to tell you guys the importance of the time of birth. Many of my clients keep asking me the question of importance of time of birth. It's very important. If you ask me a question, how accurate should the time of birth should be? My answer is every 4 minutes, the degree of the lagna or the ascendant is going to move by 1 degree, right? So I have already made a video. In the previous video, I mentioned every zodiac sign is going to be 30 degrees. All right. If you give me a time which is inaccurate by 15 minutes, it can make a very, very big difference. All right. And the lagna might change or whatever can happen. I will tell you, I will explain to you shortly about it. Even the people ask me, does the place of birth going to matter a lot? Yes, of course. The place of birth is very, very important. As you see, the earth is spinning here. Definitely every part of the earth which is facing the eastern horizon, which is exposed to the eastern horizon, that is what is going to determine the Bachakras, that portion which is known as Lagna. All right. So that is always there. Okay, even some predictors have told me that the northern latitudes, if you are born, the signs of Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus ascendants will be a little bit more faster because of the tilt of the earth by 23.5 degrees. So it makes a big difference, and people will have different fates when they are born in different countries. I will be making some more video about astrocartography. That's a very big topic on its own. That means when you are born in India, for example, when you migrate to United States, or when you migrate to Australia, New Zealand, or go to the Southeast Asia, so what will happen to them? It's all going to be different. So I'll be making separate video on that. All right. I had a chance like 3 or 4 years back to visit a place called Prague, and this Prague had a very good astronomical clock. It was known as Orlos. And the beauty of this clock is that, in addition to showing the time, it also was revealing the zodiac sign which is rising in the eastern horizon. For every hour, it will precisely show what is there in the eastern horizon. It was done. I don't know how many years back. It may be a very, very precise clock. All right. Now, one more point to be noted here is, does the time of birth affects the numerology? Numerology is another separate science which talks about the date of birth, the place of birth, and also the overall numbers. And does it affect the time? Yes, of course. If it is day and night, and again the precision of the latitudes and longitudes, it's going to decide whether it is, if it is 10th of May, for example, or it is 11th of May, right? It makes a big difference even in numerology as well. And then people will ask me, okay, we are two twins, we were born together. Why is it that we have different characteristics? Why is it? Why is it that the twins born just few minutes apart are going to have very different? See, for example, this boy is a quite serious type of a character. His own twin brother is a very smiling type. It's possible. What exactly is the difference between the two? The difference lies not just in the ascendant alone, but whereas they both may have differences in their D60 chart, for example. See, there are so many other subdivisions or subcharts that we are going to make it in Vedic astrology. Okay, so those charts are going to vary. That means we are going to divide not just the 12 zodiac signs, we can make further divisions, right? So the D60 chart is going to be different for different people, and that's why the time of birth is your signature of your fate. All right. So, in my opinion, as long as the baby is in the mother's womb, it is not given any astrological significance, as it is just going to be like another organ, like liver or anything, spleen or whatever, pancreas for the mother. The reason is everything, including the oxygen, the food, nutrients, is supplied to the baby by the mother, right? The baby is just growing in a cellular level day by day. All right. So some people, there is another school of thought. Is it the time of conceiving considered as a birth time? In my opinion, I don't think so. All right. And we have another school of thought. When the baby's head is coming out, should we consider that and record that as the time of birth? Okay, which is also not a very logical statement, because even at this point of time we see that the placenta is connected to the baby and it is still being fed by the mother. All right. So what exactly then we can say the time of birth? All right, is it the cutting of the umbilical cord by the doctors, or some people say, is it the clamping of the umbilical cord? See, once it is cut, it has to be clamped. So what is the correct logic here? So, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, different school of thoughts have different opinions. Of course, we can debate on it. We can make videos. We can make live videos to take you guys speaking about it. But in my opinion, logically speaking, cutting of the umbilical cord is the correct time. That's the reason. The reason is the moment the umbilical cord is cut off, the oxygen, which is the life, is cut off from the mother, and the baby takes the first breath, and millions of atoms go to the lungs of the baby, and the baby cries. And that's the time that we need to record. And we say, spiritually, we say that the soul enters the body, right? So it's very important. How does the soul enter the body? It's a very crazy question to us. We may not have all the knowledge, but still, with some research done here and there, I could give you some informations in today's video. All souls, I call it as energy. Okay, they keep recycling. The physics says very clearly the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. That means we are having a body, we are having our soul or the energy. Okay, we have the mind or the will, and then the memories of our past life, and also we have emotions. All together is coined as a new spirit. Okay, it's a new spirit. Now, the logic here, the spiritual part of the dialogue here is this: there will be a big queue of souls that will be waiting to take birth, to enter that body of the baby. So Saturn is the karmic planet. It's the king of all the planets, which is going to give the license to that soul to enter that body. That means the Saturn decides which is that particular soul in this queue, which has the highest karmic backlog with the would-be parents, which is who are going to bear this child, right? So that is that soul which will get the license, and it will get the entry point to the body of the baby. All right. So I'm going to just put this slide for explaining the birth and the horoscope in a very simple way. Every common man should be able to understand. I don't know, the new guy, the new millennials may not even know what I'm talking in this slide. This is actually a very old type of camera where we used to load the film at one end, and then it used to have the aperture right there in the center. And whenever the clicking of the photos is done, the selective exposure of this film is going to happen, and the light will fall on that film, and depending on the intensity of light over there, the contrast is created, and an irreversible chemical reaction happens on this film, and an image is captured permanently. So why I'm saying this concept here is same thing is going to happen when the baby takes birth. Okay, so what exactly is that? So in the night sky, whatever the planets are there in whatever zodiacal sign, at that point of time when the baby takes its first breath, so all the planets will live a permanent magnetic impression on that particular baby. That means I had told you guys that Aries is the first sign or the head of the body, right? The Lagnam. So it goes, the Lagnam can be different for different people, of course. I'm just taking a hypothetical situation here. Imagine the baby is born in Mesha Lagnam or the Aries Lagnam. So it forms the head. So imagine the planet Jupiter, for example, was in Aries in the eastern horizon at that point of time. Then the baby is going to have Jupiter in the head, that first house, right? And so on and so forth. And that's how we determine the fate of the baby and how it's going to progress as an individual. And we are going to make predictions in astrology. All right, and that's how this Kundali or the horoscope, the Lunar Astrological Horoscope, is going to come out. All right, in South India, we put it in the form of the boxes like this. In the North Indian chart, we will have these two are exactly the same. We will have a little bit different way of interpreting. All right, now I'm just putting this slide not to just tell you that there is a lot of mythological things here, but please understand that the recycling of souls can be very clearly understood even in our ancient text of Bhagavad Gita, right? The souls keeps entering the body, it grows, it forms like a Balyavastha, child. They have the Yuva Avastha, they become the youth, and then as the age progresses, they become old, and then they die, and then they take another body. So this cycle of birth and death keeps happening. All right. So everything depends on the karmic fruit that the soul is generating and holding in its hand, before it dies and takes another birth. Depending on that, a Queen Elizabeth may be born in England, or a person who had very bad karma may be born in African village and who has nothing to eat. It's possible. It's all possible. Please understand, everything depends on the key word here, the karma. All right. Now, I was just trying to say more about this. The head and brain, basically, the Mars is going to be the ruler of this area, and then Venus will own the eyes, the ear and nose and throat, etc., which is there in this part of the body. Then the heart and the lungs is ruled by Mercury. That's why we say the heart chakra is green in color, and then it's going to be vibrating green in color, and it's ruled by Mercury. The upper abdomen, which is the Leo, is ruled by Sun, and so on and so forth. I have covered this in my previous video. Those who have not seen that, please visit that video again and then take a look. All right. We have come to the end of this video. If you have any questions, please type it in the comment section. I would be very glad to answer this for them whenever I have free time. Thank you very much.